right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Heat and humidity eases, at least a little bit. The changes happening right now that give us sunshine for the weekend ahead.
Tonight, area firefighters are battling fires and staffing shortages.
The industry is not dying. I think it just needs some fresh blood.
The local department taking a different approach to add more recruits to its ranks. Our top story, jailhouse failed. Tonight, the report card is in, calling for corrections at St. Louis's correctional facility. The Missouri State Auditor released their findings after roughly 9 months investigating the City Justice Center. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The report finds no evidence of fraud, but as 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski reports, it does highlight other problems, Laura.
Mike and Kelly, the state auditor's report says a lot of these problems come down to City Justice Center staffing, and that's something that law enforcement and correctional agencies across the country are dealing with right now. In October 2023, Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick opened an investigation into the St. Louis City Justice Center to look into these complaints: fraud, health care, meals, staffing, and lack of access for the Detention Facilities Oversight Board.
I applaud Senator Roberts for calling for the audit.
That's Chair of the Board, Reverend Darrell Gray. He says the results are further evidence of the lack of access to investigate detainee complaints and showed the problems they've been sounding the alarm about.
We felt that, we were vindicated. It spoke very clearly about some of the medical concerns, the fact that the former contractor had major issues and problems.
The audit says the contractor, Yes Care, did not extend their agreement because CJC's staffing challenges prevented them from giving basic care, and healthcare professionals felt unsafe after incidents like being locked in housing units without custody staff being present. When it comes to food service at the jail, the audit found additional investigation is needed. Alfred Montgomery worked for the sheriff's office and saw firsthand how it affected people.
Some of them complain about not eating for days. Some of them are complaining about not being able to shower, and the average human brain, if they're under this type of stress, then you have to expect behaviors to occur.
The report's conclusion highlights staffing shortages as the root cause of many of the CJC's problems. Its policy is 10 detainees to 1 corrections officer, and they've remained in that ratio, but have had significant drops in total officers from 123 in 2022 to 74 in 2023. Sheriff Vernon Betts said in a statement, the jail conditions are appalling.
What the low staff complement means is you have over 700 detainees who are being locked in their cells for 22, 23 hours a day.
A statement from Mayor Tashard Jones' office reads, in part, as expected, the auditor's investigative summary found no indication of fraud on behalf of the city. We share the staffing concerns raised by the auditor and continue to work aggressively to hire more correctional officers. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Isolated downpours and gusty winds are moving through parts of St. Louis, bringing an end to the excessive heat we've endured all week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking a much welcome cool front moving in overnight in the weather impact forecast.
Yes, and we're seeing a few of those downpours rolling through parts of the metro area. We had one develop really just west of Lambert and then tracked right along 70 and 270. Now it's all the way over into Madison County. It brought with it some gusty winds around 30, 35 miles per hour. A few more cells down to the southwest. But again, it's been quick hitting. They're not lasting very long. They haven't been severe and very limited on the amount of lightning you see with that. And as we look here at the Edwardsville camera right there in downtown Edwardsville, streets are still dry. So that shower, the rumbles of thunder, went just south of downtown Edwardsville. We still have some here south of Cedar Hill, up off to the southeast of High Ridge, going through Jefferson County. This will all wind down tonight. Any rain's going to come to an end. We will drop back into the upper 60s and low 70s. The heat and humidity, we're breaking it to some degree heading into tomorrow and into the weekend. Not cool and refreshing, but a break in the extreme heat. We'll see you in a few minutes with more. Kelly?
All right, Scott. And a sad reminder tonight of the dangers of the heat. The Arnold Police Department is mourning the loss of one of its canine officers.
As 5 on your side's Robert Townsend reports, the dog suffered heat exhaustion while in a patrol car and died.
According to a bio on the Arnold Police Department's website, 4-year-old Vader was very energetic, loved coming to work, playing fetch, and being around people. In a Facebook post, police said the Belgian Malinois died from heat exhaustion after his handler left him in a running patrol car with the air conditioning on. When Vader's handler returned, he discovered the AC malfunctioned.
The police treat these dogs like a part of their family.
Arnold police further said they consider canines left in running patrol cars as necessary and common practice when the canine partner is not actively engaged in police work. Vader was immediately taken to a local vet clinic where police say he showed signs of improvement. He then was transported to a 24-hour clinic where sadly he passed away. Dr. Stuart Robson is the founding partner and medical director at Fox Creek Veterinary Clinic in Kirkwood.
The vast majority of people, they should never leave their dog unattended in a car. The police is different. They have a duty, to protect us, and they would do anything to protect those dogs.
Arnold Police Department's canine cars are equipped with an air conditioning alarm system. It's supposed to notify the handler by phone, activate the emergency lights and siren, sound the car horn, activate cooling fans, and roll down the car windows if the temperature increases to a certain level. Police also say that system failed to activate.
I'm sure they're sickened by it.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The Humane Society of Missouri wouldn't comment on Vader's case, but in a statement said in part, it does highlight how serious extreme temperatures can be to animals.
A memorial is forming in Ferguson ahead of the 10th anniversary of the death of Michael Brown. Today, people began placing flowers and stuffed animals on Canfield Drive. That is where the 18-year-old was shot and killed by a Ferguson police officer on August 9th, 2014. Brown's death sparked months of protests. The teen's father has since formed a nonprofit to help grieving families.
We're trying to save lives. This not-for-profit was built off of fathers and families, that's processing the unthinkable.
Several events are planned ahead of next week's anniversary.
Developing tonight, we take a live look now at Joint Base Andrews, where in the next 30 minutes, 4 Americans wrongly imprisoned in Russia are expected to arrive back on U.S. soil. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will greet them. Their long-awaited journey home is part of an historic exchange. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Marine veteran Paul Whelan are among those released in a complex deal involving 24 people across 7 nations.
New tonight, tackling a problem head-on through intention and meeting people where they are.
The local fire department is doing just that as the industry battles a nationwide shortage. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon introduces us to a fire chief who's getting creative to lure more firefighters to the field.
When a fire emergency strikes, they're there to save lives. But O'Fallon, Illinois Fire Chief Brad White notices a problem.
There's departments now that are closing around the nation that have been there for 100 years or more. People age out that are currently with them and they can't get young people in. It's a problem here in St. Clair County for sure.
It's why he's getting creative.
To save lives.
To fight fires.
To keep our communities safe.
Investing in social media and innovative recruitment.
We have QR codes on our trucks to go to the websites. We have poker chips with QR codes telling people we're recruiting. Anything and everything we can put into the front of people or hand to them.
With a focus on matching new hires with their own interests.
We are teachers.
Business owners.
Healthcare professionals.
As soon as he asked for volunteers, my hand went up. I'm like, yep, I'll help.
Volunteer firefighter Aaron Clearly will soon help man the department's drone used for search and rescue efforts.
I worked in commercial aviation as my day job, and so I'm kind of using that skill set to help with our drone program.
It's the kind of intentional recruiting that's helped the department soar from 19 firefighters to more than 60 over the last several years. Right now, a dozen more are going through the academy.
The industry is not dying. I think it just needs some fresh blood and some fresh ideas. But somebody still has to show up when things go wrong, and that's what the fire department does every day.
Last September, we told you the Pocahontas and Old Ripley Fire District in Illinois let go of all its volunteer EMTs, and the district ran out of money to hire full-time paramedics. I've also learned the St. Louis Fire Department is short about 100 firefighters right now. I just got off the phone with the lead instructor of the Fire Academy, who tells me this week 56 fire recruits start at the academy.
It's an iconic event of the Olympics, and it almost ran its last leg here in St. Louis.
Not only was it wickedly hot, there wasn't a lot of water stops.
The marathon mayhem of the 1904 Games, where there was a fake finish and the eventual winner was given a medal and poison. The comeback GOAT, Simone Biles, making more history in Paris and inspiring the next generation of gymnasts here in St. Louis.
The first weekend of August is hot, but not as humid, when an even more dramatic change is expected to arrive next week.